So welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how we retrieve data in Oracle. Here are the topics that we'll be covering. First thing is we're going to look into the select statement, and then we're going to retrieve individual columns, multiple columns, retrieving all the columns, retrieving distinct rows, and fully qualified tables, and last is we're going to use comments. Okay? Before I demonstrate it, let's first define here retrieving data. In SQL, SQL statements are made up of English-like terms. They are called keywords, and every SQL statement is made up of one or more keywords. To retrieve the data which is commonly used in SQL, we use here the command select. Okay? Now, here is the syntax in using the select command. Okay, so you have here the following items. So first thing, you start with select, followed by an expression from tables. Tables here will be the table name, where condition. Okay, expressions are the columns or calculations that you wish to retrieve. Tables is the table in which the data will be retrieved from. And then last is the condition. This is optional if in case the condition that must here when we say condition, this must be met in order for us to retrieve the data. Okay, so technically this is the syntax that we use in retrieving data into our Oracle database. Okay, let me now demonstrate how we use the select statement. Okay, let me uh, minimize our program. So I'm back at our SQL Live. So earlier, I demonstrated to you how we retrieve data using the select statement. So what I have here, let's have a review, is select asterisk from table, wherein asterisk is a wildcard character that allows us to retrieve all the columns in our table. Okay, so let me uh, move it here. Okay, since we have that already, I'll retain this. Okay, so in our next example, what we're going to do is for us to retrieve. Okay, next is to retrieve individual columns. Okay, so if you could see, these are the different columns that we have. Okay, so we have the product ID, vendor's ID, product name. Now if you see in this section, we have the product price and then the product description. These are the different columns. Now in SQL, oh, what happened? Let me go back here. Let's wait for a while. I think something happened here. Okay, so again, we're back. I'm going to remove this and then, sorry. Okay. Retrieve individual columns. Okay. Now for us to retrieve the columns, by the way, let me execute this one first so that you'll be able to see. Now, by the way, see if let's say the screen is too small for you to see, on the upper right corner of your screen, you're going to see here the run button that allows us to execute the commands. Okay, if in case you will not be able to see this here in our screencast. Now, by again, so I've executed this line here. It allows us to retrieve the columns here. Now you could if you press here or include asterisk that retrieves us all the columns, you can actually select a column, okay, that you like to see. Let's say in the products table, what I need to do is to see only the product's name. Okay, so this line here. To do that, we will be retrieving individual columns. So the command is we type here select, Then the name of the column, in this case, product name. So you're going to use the column name here, from products. Okay, then semicolon. Again, you can click run to see the output. And then this is the output of our SQL statement. So select to retrieve the data, product name, meaning the column, from, and then products is our table. Okay, so this is how you retrieve individual columns into our table. Okay, so let's have the next example. Here we're going to have retrieve multiple columns. Okay, let me cut this and then paste it here. Okay, now if you like to retrieve multiple columns, the command is you need to add columns to our list. So let's say select product ID, product name, and product price from products. Okay, so what do we have here? We are going to retrieve three columns here, starting from our product ID, the product name, and then the product price. So from our products table. So if we run the script, okay, invalid. Let's wait for a while. Okay, so let's just refresh it. So again, select product ID, product name, product price from products. Refresh. Now, if this statement here shows invalid statement, the reason for that is that you have selected or highlighted a section. Okay, so in order for us to uh, go away with the invalid statement, make sure you have not selected anything. Just click here run, and then it will automatically see you will automatically see the output here. Okay, so what I have is executed three columns: product ID, product name, and then the product price. Okay, so here are the uh, retrieving multiple columns. Okay, let's cut this and then move it into this section here. Okay, so in our next example, what we're going to do here is that, again, if you like to retrieve all the columns, retrieve all the columns, what we need to do is to use the wildcard, which is an asterisk. Okay, to do that, you just type here, or let's just copy this line. Okay, copy this, paste. Okay, and then this is our statement. Let me move it like that, and then click run. This retrieves all our columns. Okay, so if you want to retrieve them, you just use the asterisk, also known as the wildcard character, that allows us to retrieve all the columns in your table. Okay, now next is, if you notice, um, there are some items that are repeating. Okay, so let's say in our product, in our vendor's ID, there are multiple vendor's ID here, such as 1001, 1001, and so on, 1002, 1003. So we have multiple data that are shown here. Okay, so if we want to retrieve only those are distinct, meaning unique records, we can do that in SQL. To do that, let's say let's have here retrieving uh, distinct distinct rows. Okay. Now, to execute that, what we need to do is to add a keyword named distinct. Okay. So to retrieve distinct keyword, just type here distinct. Okay, that would allow us to return only those unique values. Okay, let's have it now. So just type here select followed by distinct, distinct, and then the vendor's ID. In this case, we're going to retrieve or return all the vendor's ID or look into the vendor's ID column. Then from products. Okay, sorry, products. Okay. So what it will, once we execute this, it should return only those unique values. Now, before we execute, take note that here in the vendor's ID column, we have multiple values that are the same. Let's say 1001, we have at least 3 here. Then 1002, we have 2, and so on. Okay? So let's try to run the statement. Click run. Then what it does, it only retrieves only those unique columns. Okay? If you like to have that, you just type here distinct or add the distinct keyword, okay, in our column. So let's move it here and let's have our next example. Okay? So in our next example, what we would like to have now is to okay, retrieve data using fully qualified table names. Okay. So it means that we will be completing the whole statement here, meaning that in our column, example here, we have to specify the exact table name where we are retrieving the data. So this will be useful once we go into our joints soon, but this will also help us identify where are we exactly retrieving the data. Okay? So what we need to do if you like to retrieve fully qualified tables is use the select statement followed by the name of the table, in this case products, followed by a period or dot, and then the column that you like to retrieve. Okay? So in this case, what I'm doing is again retrieving a single column, which is products, but to be sure that I am retrieving under the products table, this I have to add here the name of the table followed by a dot notation or dot. So this means this is a fully qualified table or table name. That is, I'm sure that the product name, because we the product name could exist in different tables. Okay, so to be sure that we are retrieving on under the products table, we could have this. It means that this is a fully qualified table name. Okay, so then we execute it. It should retrieve us the name of our the column, which is product name, and we're sure that what we're having here is retrieved exactly from our products table. Okay, so this is working with the select statement in retrieving our data. Okay, so I will just post all the SQL statements here in our description box. So I hope you like the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.